When it comes to long-term food storage, I am a fan of using Mylar bags. I'm going to put these 3 items to the test: a household iron, a flat iron, and an impulse sealer. Let's find out which one will properly seal a Mylar bag. As you're working on your long-term food storage, there's a lot of time and money and effort that goes into making sure that we're doing it properly. I'm a member of the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints, and our church has been teaching for over 100 years the importance of being self-reliant and being prepared. That is why I went to churchofjesuschrist.org's website and clicked on longer term food storage. And that's where I find this section on Mylar bags, what are they and how to seal them. When you're using powdered ingredients like flour or dried milk, they recommend that you use an impulse sealer. But I want to make sure that I'm doing this right. So I ordered one and I'm going to, for the first time, use this sealer. What I'll do to conduct this experiment is fill up 3 Mylar bags with flour. And then I will turn each of these devices on, we will seal them, and then I'm going to turn them upside down and see what kind of a seal we actually have. So in case you've never seen an impulse sealer, this is what it looks like. It's got this arm that you push down. One of the benefits that I see to using this is that it makes it difficult to burn yourself with. If I'm not paying attention when I have my iron, I can easily rub up against it. Same thing with a flat iron, but with this, apparently, from what I've read, you don't have to preheat it because it only gets hot when you pull down the handle. We'll see. While I'm filling up the last Mylar bag with flour, I am going to turn on my flat iron. I know that I mentioned in a previous video that I would never use my Dyson flat iron to seal up my food storage, but my daughter recently moved off to college and took my cheaper flat iron with her, so this is all that I have. I don't think it's going to get ruined at all, but know that I am sacrificing. The bags that I'm using have a 1-gallon capacity. Now that I have filled the Mylar bag with flour, I'm going to take this microfiber cloth and wipe just the inside top here because I want to make sure there's nothing that's going to get in the way of the sealer. Let's start with the impulse sealer. After reading the directions, it looks like all you need to do is pull the Mylar bag tight like this so it's completely flat on top. We're going to place it right here. Now let me just do a little, when I touch it, it's not hot at all. So I'm gonna give myself enough room and then we're gonna clamp it. Here we go. 2, 3, 4, 5. I'm just gonna hold it for 5 seconds because that did not do it. Oh. Even though it doesn't need to warm up, it does need to be turned on. Impulse sealer, plugged in, turned on. Let's hold this down for 5 seconds.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5.
That beep that you just heard is coming from my flat iron, not from the impulse sealer. Okay. Well, I don't think I'm doing this correctly because I can smell some like plastic burning. It's not sealing my bag so far. Oh. Actually, I think it did. This is my first time doing this, so I'm not used to this. I didn't think it was working, but check this out. Let's see if you can see this. It has a very clean line. This is the first thing I'm already noticing. Whenever I use my iron, all of this gets wrinkled and kind of like folds over itself at some parts. This, I didn't even know it did anything. So that's good. But let me just go through this whole thing. Okay, it's sealed. That was easy. Impulse sealer, done. Our next bag will be sealed with my flat iron. This flat iron is set at 410 degrees. It is wireless, which is why you don't see any cords, but it is on. So we're gonna do the same thing. We clean the inside of the bag to make sure that we can get a good seal. And we're gonna hold it for 5 seconds. One, ow, two, I just burnt my hand on the bag itself. 3, 4, 5. Let's come at it. You can, don't do that. Rah. Don't, can't believe I just did that. We're gonna come at it from this angle. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And one more to finish that seal. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay, so right off the bat, can you see the difference here? You can see that it starts to get wrinkled up here. It's still very, very hot. I will say that for the impulse sealer, I didn't even know that it had worked. And when I touched it, there was 0 heat involved, and it's a very beautiful, clean line. This, with the flat iron, I mean, we've got all kinds of crazy. I've got sharp parts right here now, but it's been sealed together. That could create a problem because these Mylar bags are gonna go into a 5-gallon bucket, and I don't wanna puncture my other bags, so that's definitely noteworthy. But man, it is really kind of a wreck and kind of a mess. I'm not gonna flip this over yet until I seal the other bag with the iron, but this just, I will say it's closed, yes, but it's very sloppy, very sloppy. On to our third method of sealing the bag we're going to use. For now, I'm gonna turn off my flat iron because it is hot. I recently filmed a video where we packaged up pinto beans and rice for long-term food storage, and I did use the iron method to seal my Mylar bags. And I did use this level, this carpenter's level. You can see the width of this. That's about the width that I want to seal at. So it really is a good resource, and I can press very firmly on it. You do not need to put anything between the Mylar and your device because it's not going to come off on it. We've got it lined up on the level, and now we're going to press and hold for 5 seconds to get a good seal. Remember to turn the steam off of your iron. You don't want any moisture around your food. We've got our seal. So let me just glance at this. So it does definitely feel warm. It's a little bit hot. It is not as messy sloppy as the flat iron was. There are still some wrinkles. It seals the entire top inch. If you notice with the bag that was sealed with the impulse sealer, it didn't do that. The top part of this bag here, let's see if you can see it, is still open. Do you see that? Which is why when I opened it, I didn't think that it was actually working because this was still separated. Just right off the bat, this one makes me smile. I mean, it's beautiful. It looks like it came from the store this way. This is a very professional looking seam here. Let's put these seals to the test. Let's move on to our impulse sealer. This is the bag that we used our clothes iron on. This looks like it's a really good seal. This also looks like it's a great seal. Moving on to this awful mess that we used our flat iron on. I mean, it's really bad and it's very sharp. That's concerning to me because other bags are going to be going up against this. So let's do a flip and see what we got. That is also a solid seal. Well, there you have it, friends. Do you need to go out and buy yourself an impulse sealer? Based off of what I'm seeing here today, the answer is no, because I was able to do the exact same thing the impulse sealer did with the exact same ingredients in the exact same bags, and all 3 of them sealed. Now, did the impulse sealer do a better job of sealing and not making sharp edges and wrinkling this Mylar? Yeah, I did a way better job. The benefit to using the impulse sealer, from what I can tell here, is that when I go to open this bag, I just remembered I did not put oxygen absorbers in these bags. So you know what we're gonna do? We're going to take these lemons and make some lemonade. I am going to cut off this top seal, just right underneath. I only lost this much from the bag that was sealed with the impulse sealer. I have my oxygen absorbers. They are nice and loose and pliable, which means they're good. Now, let's cover up that jar. Let me move these bags out of the way. I'm going to reseal this. So because I have been really sloppy with turning it upside down and flipping it and trying to get the flour out, I'm going to make sure that I wipe the inside portion at the top. And I'm really excited to try this impulse sealer again. Again, it doesn't need to be warmed up. Okay, I've got my oxygen absorber in there. Let's just push that down. It's very quiet. I heard a tiny little hum just for a second and then it stopped. So to me, okay, first of all, my hands are on this immediately and I'm not getting burned, so plus for the impulse sealer. It's pretty killer, I'm not gonna lie. This is the bag that we used the clothes iron on. So this is what it looks like when you go to open your food storage when you use Mylar bags. Let's just check out the difference here. This bottom one is from the clothes iron. This top one that's significantly smaller was from the impulse sealer. Look at that. Touch the entire thing and you're fine. Just amazing. Now we're going to cut open this like really horrible, I mean, can you see that? Just how awful it is? I mean, really, really sloppy. Very sharp edges. Did it work? Yes, it did work. Is there a better way? There is. All right, oxygen absorber in. Okay. It doesn't even need a full 5 seconds. You'll hear the little hum of it. My final conclusion is, can I seal Mylar bags with my flat iron, clothes iron, just as well as the impulse sealer? Yes, I think I can. I flipped these over. I got no traces of any air coming out. The real takeaway when I'm looking at how much space each one took to seal is that if I want to wash these out and reuse them, by sealing with the impulse sealer first, I'm going to get more life out of this bag because I'm only using a small portion. Should you spend the money to buy an impulse sealer? If you're going to be doing a lot of food storage and a lot of sealing of Mylar bags, I would say yes, it's worth it. I know that I learned from this experiment. I didn't even know what an impulse sealer was until I saw it on the Church of Jesus Christ website as a recommendation to use. I will now be using it for all of my future food storage. As you're doing your research on how you want to store food, I recommend using store.churchofjesuschrist.org. You'll be able to order from the LDS Cannery, where they have food available that has already been packaged for long-term food storage. It is full of good, proven information. This is The Sensory Life.